The atmosphere on Stephen Colbert's show was electric as Elon Musk made his entrance, the audience erupting in applause. Known for his unconventional views and fearless commentary, Musk seemed at ease as he took his seat opposite Colbert. Things began lightheartedly, with Colbert joking about Musk's ever-growing portfolio Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, X, and now even speculation about colonizing Mars with a digital government system. Musk laughed it off, quipping that Earth's governance had been a letdown, but the mood shifted as Colbert pressed harder. "Do you think it's ethical," he asked, "to pour billions into space while people struggle to survive on Earth?" His smile waned slightly. "Progress and compassion aren't mutually exclusive," he replied. "If we never look up, we'll never grow." Colbert countered quickly, asking if that growth comes at the cost of ignoring the climate emergency and inequality. Musk's tone sharpened. "We're solving problems with real tech, not virtue signaling." A brief silence followed before Colbert chuckled nervously, signaling a change in tone. But the seeds of confrontation had been sown. Colbert, ever the master of subtle provocation, steered the conversation into politics. "You've tweeted some ... interesting things about the government," he said with a grin. "What's your endgame, Elon? Techno-libertarian utopia?" Musk raised an eyebrow. "Transparency and decentralization aren't bad things, Stephen," he said. "Power corrupts look at most institutions today."
Colbert smirked.
"Some would say you're trying to become the power you criticize. You control satellite networks, communication platforms, even AI development." Musk leaned forward, his voice firmer. "What I control is access to progress. I'm not forcing anyone. People choose our services because we deliver results, not empty promises." Colbert nodded, then pressed. "But who holds you accountable? Governments answer to the people. Who do you answer to?" Musk shot back without hesitation. "To reality. And reality doesn't care about bureaucracy." The tension was palpable now. The crowd was no longer cheering, just quietly watching, sensing the stakes had risen. The segment escalated when Colbert brought up Musk's public disputes with regulators and whistleblowers. "You've been accused of union busting, manipulating markets with tweets, and even downplaying worker injuries at Tesla. Do you take any of that seriously?" Musk's expression hardened. "If you innovate fast, mistakes happen. But I don't accept false narratives created by people who've never built anything." Colbert didn't back down. "But if your vision is truly for humanity, shouldn't the human costs matter more to you?" Musk's reply was curt. "It does. Why we create thousands of jobs and push the boundaries of what's possible? Innovation isn't clean, it's hard." Colbert then asked about safety concerns with AI and autonomous systems Musk is developing. "Do you think it's right to profit from tech that could destabilize the world?" Musk took a moment, then answered, "I've warned about AI long before others took it seriously. I'm building safeguards while others ignore the problem." Colbert interrupted. "Or maybe you're creating the threat and selling yourself as the savior." The audience gasped. Musk's jaw clenched. "That's an insult," he said slowly, tension rising. By the fourth segment, the show had departed. From entertainment into hostile debate, Colbert, emboldened, asked about X, formerly Twitter, and its content moderation policies. "You claim to support free speech, but your platform has amplified hate speech and misinformation," Colbert said. "You can't play free speech hero while letting harmful content run wild." Musk's voice sharpened. "Free speech isn't about what's comfortable. It's about protecting the right to say uncomfortable things. Censorship is more dangerous than offensive speech." Colbert shot back. "But where's the line? Children being exposed to violent rhetoric, harassment of marginalized groups?" Musk leaned forward again. "We enforce rules. But I won't let unelected censors silence ideas because they're controversial. That's how innovation dies." Colbert, now visibly frustrated, asked, "So your personal interpretation of liberty outweighs public safety?" Musk responded, "What you call public safety is often just another excuse for control." The audience stirred again, some clapping, others visibly uneasy. Colbert shook his head and muttered, "Sounds more like tech overlord talk to me." Musk's eyes narrowed. Then came the moment that pushed the conversation over the edge. Colbert questioned Musk's stance on climate change, noting that despite Tesla's green image, Musk still uses private jets extensively. "It's a little ironic, isn't it?" he said. "Telling the world to go green while jetting to conferences in luxury?" Musk rolled his eyes. "That's a shallow critique," he snapped. "Our work offsets far more emissions than my travel generates." Colbert pushed further. "But doesn't public perception matter? People see hypocrisy, not nuance." Musk, now visibly irritated, responded, "Maybe the media should stop obsessing over optics and focus on actual impact." Colbert raised his eyebrows, responding dryly, "You mean like focusing on how a billionaire frames himself as a messiah while silencing critics?" The crowd reacted with audible murmurs. Musk shook his head. "I'm not here to entertain false narratives. You invited me to talk about progress, not to paint me as a villain." Colbert smirked again. "If the cape fits, ... The tension was no longer subtle, it was combustible. The sixth segment veered into personal territory. Colbert mentioned Musk's complicated personal life, his numerous children, his public relationship drama, and erratic behavior online. "Do you think your personal life affects how people see your leadership?" Colbert asked. Musk's face tensed. "My personal life is personal. I don't owe explanations for having a family or being authentic online." Colbert continued, "But when your tweets move markets, when your opinions influence global discussions, doesn't authenticity become a public responsibility?" Musk replied sharply, "Responsibility doesn't mean silence. I won't be sanitized." To fit into someone else's mold, Colbert then mentioned accusations of online bullying and erratic late-night posts. Should a man wielding that much power behave so unpredictably? Musk's response came fast. "Unpredictable to whom? To media who want a sanitized narrative? I'd rather be real than polished." The crowd clapped uncertainly. Colbert leaned back, letting the awkwardness settle. Musk's posture was rigid. Now his smile completely gone. In the seventh stretch, the atmosphere had become openly confrontational. Colbert, now unapologetically critical, said, "There's a growing sense that your vision of the future is one where you're at the top and the rest of us are expected to follow." Musk immediately bristled. "That's ridiculous. I'm building platforms. No one's forced to use them. If I wanted control, I'd be in politics, not engineering." Colbert raised an eyebrow. "But isn't that the issue? You wield power across industries without checks and balances. One man influencing space travel, neural tech, AI, speech platforms. Transportation eats dystopian sci-fi coming true." Musk leaned forward, his voice lower. "So would you rather progress stagnate?" "That's what happens when bureaucrats make the rules," Colbert replied. "Or maybe it's time to admit that tech alone can't save humanity." Musk shot back, "And media certainly won't." The crowd gave a mixed reaction. Musk stared hard at Colbert. "If you're trying to make me the villain for trying to build, that's your prerogative, but history will prove you wrong." The tension crackled like static, with tempers flaring. Producers were reportedly debating whether to cut the interview short during commercial, but the two returned for one final exchange. Colbert asked, "What's your legacy, Elon? What do you want it to be?" Musk replied calmly at first that I tried. I gave humanity tools to survive, to evolve. But Colbert interrupted, "Or that you tried to play God and didn't like being questioned." Musk looked directly at him. "If asking hard questions is playing God, then maybe more people should." Colbert stood his ground. "No one elected you to save us," Musk replied coldly, "and no one elected the critics trying to stop progress." The silence was deafening. Then Musk added, "This show is a performance. I don't perform, I build." Colbert leaned forward and said flatly, "Then maybe you're on the wrong stage." That was the final straw. Suddenly, Elon Musk stood up from his seat, removing his mic, and looked toward the backstage crew. "I think we're done here," he said. The audience gasped. Colbert tried to laugh it off, saying, "You sure you don't want to debate freedom of speech a little?" "More." Musk didn't reply, turned to the audience and said, I came here to talk about the future, not to be ambushed. Colbert retorted. You weren't ambushed, Elon. You were just challenged, Musk replied, without turning back. There's a difference between challenge and provocation. With that, he walked off stage, his exit leaving a silence that buzzed louder than any applause. The camera awkwardly lingered on Colbert, who tried to break the tension with a half-joke. Well, I guess our next segment just got a little more airtime. The crowd laughed uncertainly. After the show aired, clips of the confrontation went viral across social media. Some praised Colbert for holding Musk accountable, calling it a rare moment of journalistic integrity. Others slammed the host for turning an interview into a takedown, accusing him of bias and disrespect. Meanwhile, Musk posted a cryptic message on X, "You can mock the builders, but the future won't be built by talk show hosts." The internet erupted in debates. Speculated.